It started on a night that felt no different from any other. The kind of night that slips by unnoticed, where nothing remarkable is supposed to happen. The rain tapped softly against the window, and the apartment was quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator. I was sitting alone at the dining counter, food growing cold in front of me, scrolling through nothing in particular while waiting for Maya to come home. She had texted earlier saying she'd be late again. That, at least, wasn't new. Long hours had become her normal, and I'd learned not to question it. What broke the calm wasn't a crash or an argument or even a raised voice. It was a phone vibrating gently beside my plate. I glanced at it without thinking. The screen lit up, and for a second my brain didn't register what my eyes were seeing. Then it did, and everything inside me went still. The name glowing on the screen wasn't mine. It wasn't familiar at all. Just a first name, casual, intimate in a way that made my stomach tighten. Maya guarded her phone carefully. It was always face down, always locked, always within reach. Seeing it light up unattended felt wrong, like stumbling across something I wasn't meant to witness. I told myself it was nothing. Coworker. Project. Some harmless explanation I'd laugh about later. Then the preview line appeared. Missing you already. Tonight can't come fast enough. I didn't touch the phone. I didn't need to. My chest felt hollow, like something vital had been scooped out all at once. The words weren't dramatic. They weren't explicit. But they didn't need to be. They weren't meant for me, and that alone said enough. I sat there longer than I should have, staring at the table, listening to the rain, trying to slow my breathing. Part of me wanted to believe there was a misunderstanding, that context would somehow save us. Another part of me already knew better. When Maya finally came home, she greeted me the same way she always did. A tired smile. Quick kiss on the cheek. An apology for working late. We sat down together and ate in near silence. She checked her phone more than once, her thumb moving quickly, her attention drifting away from me like it had so many times before. I waited for her to say something. Nothing. Confession, a slip, a moment of honesty. Never came. As I stood to rinse my plate, the realization hit me with a sharp, unexpected clarity. She wasn't going to tell me. Whatever was happening, she had already decided to carry it alone. And that meant the choice in front of me was mine. I didn't shout. I didn't demand explanations. I didn't even look at her again. I picked up my jacket, grabbed my keys, and walked out the door. No goodbye. No scene. Just the quiet click of the lock behind me. The air outside felt cold and clean. For the first time in months, maybe longer, I felt like I was breathing on my own terms. The place I ended up renting wasn't much. A small one-bedroom with uneven floors and windows that rattled when the wind picked up. But it was mine. There were no shared routines, no unspoken expectations, no lies humming beneath the surface. I slept better than I had in years, even though the bed was too firm and the room too quiet. I threw myself into work. Long days, longer nights. I avoided questions from friends, skipped gatherings, ignored well-meaning advice. I didn't want reassurance. I didn't want to hear that I deserved better. None of that changed what had already happened. What mattered was that I'd left. A week passed. Then another. Maya called at first. I didn't answer. The calls turned into messages, each one longer than the last. She said she was confused. She said she wanted to talk. She said she never meant to hurt me. I read them without responding, feeling something inside me slowly detach. 2 weeks later, there was a knock at my door. I stayed where I was, hoping it was the wrong apartment. The knock came again, firmer this time. Then I heard her voice say my name, soft and strained. I closed my eyes, considering pretending I wasn't home. But something told me this was a moment I couldn't avoid. When I opened the door, she looked different. Smaller. Tired in a way that makeup couldn't hide. Her eyes were red, her hands trembling as she clasped them together like she was afraid they might give her away. "I'm sorry," she said, barely above a whisper. "I know I don't deserve to be here. I just needed you to hear me say it." I didn't invite her in. We stood there, the hallway light casting shadows between us. She stepped closer, tears spilling freely now, words tumbling out about regret and confusion and fear. She said she hadn't realized what she was risking. She said she missed me. I listened quietly, searching myself for the feelings I used to have. They weren't there anymore. What I felt instead was a calm certainty. She wasn't grieving me. She was grieving the safety she'd lost. The comfort of knowing someone would always be there, no matter what choices she made. I don't know if I can forgive you, I said finally. And even if I could, forgiveness doesn't undo what happened. You didn't choose me when it mattered. She nodded, unable to meet my eyes. There was nothing left to say. I think this is where it ends, I added softly. I closed the door not out of anger, but out of understanding. Healing didn't come all at once. Came in quiet moments. In mornings where I drank coffee alone and felt peaceful instead of lonely. In evenings where I realized I wasn't bracing myself for disappointment anymore. Closure didn't come from her apology or her tears. It came from walking away and choosing myself. Sometimes the hardest lesson is realizing that love isn't proven by how much pain you're willing to endure. It's proven by knowing when to leave. And in that realization, I finally understood something I'd forgotten for a long time. I had been enough all along.